Manually, it takes me around 10 minutes to remove, but now AI allows that to be 10 seconds to remove an object. Is editing with AI actually better than manual editing? Today, I'm partnering with Adobe to put that to the test. In this video today, we're going to be exploring AI photo editors within Adobe's ecosystem. Using AI in photo editing is a huge speed advantage. Honestly, it's great for social content, batch edits, and even e-commerce too. So first, let me explain how this is gonna work. Basically, I'm going to be taking the same exact photo and editing it twice. The first time around, I'm going to be editing that photo manually, and then I'm going to be editing it once with AI. And the things I'm gonna be comparing are detail, quality, and speed. This is the topic that I think is super interesting to a lot of people right now, so I'm super excited to be making this video. And in this video, I'm going to be using a photo of one of my couples. Since I'm a wedding photographer, I mainly shoot couples, portraits, and weddings. Today, you're going to see where AI excels and where manual still wins. And hopefully this video will help you figure out how to use a combo of both. I'm gonna be showing you everything here live on my laptop. So without further ado, let's go. So I have pulled up on my screen here the photo that we're gonna be using today. I picked this one specifically because there are a few items to remove in the photo, and let's just get into it with the manual editing to start. So for manual editing, I'm gonna start in Lightroom Classic, and I'm gonna do all of my adjustments and things like that within Lightroom first. Lightroom is my go-to app for powerful photo color correction and enhancement. It allows photographers like me and creators to elevate their images quickly while keeping editing simple and intuitive. So I'm gonna start by getting my edit on there. I'm gonna adjust my exposure slider, my temperature, and my tint. I'm gonna go in here also, and I'm gonna make some changes to the tone curve. So I'm just gonna slide up the middle section of my tone curve just to brighten my photo a little bit. I'm also gonna slide into color grading. I'm gonna add a little bit of warmth to my highlights. So now that I've made some adjustments to the lighting and stuff to my photo, I'm actually going to do some masks in Lightroom as well. So in Lightroom, I'm gonna create a mask, and I'm just gonna use a brush mask since we're doing all of this manually. And what I would like to do is brighten up kind of the background of the photo because the background's a little bit dark. So I'm gonna use a brush, and I'm just gonna brush around all of the dark areas of my background. And I'm gonna raise up the shadows. I'm gonna bring up the exposure a little bit. And then I also wanna kind of darken my foreground. So I'm gonna create another brush and just swipe it over my foreground and lower exposure just a tad. I also really want a little bit more depth in this photo. It doesn't feel like there's enough. So I'm actually gonna do another brush, and I'm gonna just like brush in the background, and I'm gonna try to create a little bit of blur. And in my slider, I'm gonna go down to the texture and the clarity, and I'm just gonna slide that down a little bit. It doesn't really look like there's a manual blur option besides that. Okay, now that I have this photo edited in Lightroom, we're going to manually bring it over to Photoshop. So in Photoshop, I'm going to clean up the background, and I'm going to remove the person that's at the bottom of this image. Photoshop is built for precision, so from fine retouching to creative composites, it's ideal for creatives like me who want total control to bring bold ideas to life. So for this, we're going to be using the clone stamp. And there's quite a lot of leaves in this, so that's what I'm gonna start cleaning up. And I can tell you right now, this is gonna take me a minute. Now, what's hard about the clone stamp tool is it doesn't always blend super well, so you have to be pretty careful. But I do like how precise I can get with the clone stamp tool. I feel like it is doing exactly what I want it to. Okay, now the thing that's gonna be a challenge is I have this person's head in the bottom corner of my photo. So I'm gonna try my best to clone stamp them out. So far it's looking pretty good. Okay, actually, That looks pretty good. I'm pretty surprised by that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna leave it. What's really nice about editing this photo manually is I'm able to maintain my precision and my control. I also feel like you have a little bit more flexibility with creativity when you are editing something manually. So like going in and manually doing your tone curves and your color grading. Those are all things that I can see visually with my eye and I can match it exactly with what I'm envisioning. But manual photo editing does take more steps. Going in and clone stamping this photo definitely took me a little bit longer than expected. It probably took me around 5-10 minutes. Manual editing is gonna be great for pros or anyone who's looking for a little bit more detailed, precise work. So now we're gonna do AI photo editing with this photo again. So we're gonna start with what I think is one of the best AI photo editing apps, which is Adobe Lightroom. Adobe Lightroom has a lot of one-click features and presets that I'm going to be using. So the first thing I'm gonna do with my photo is I'm going to add auto settings. So in the top right of Lightroom, I'm gonna go to auto. And as you can see, it auto adjusted my exposure, my contrast, my highlights, all of those things based on the image. And Lightroom uses the power of AI to analyze the photo, which is super cool. There's also recommended presets that you can use in Lightroom. So what Lightroom does is it analyzes your photo and gives you some presets recommended based on the photo itself. So personally, I really like this preset it made. And what's also nice is there's an amount slider, so I'm gonna slide that amount down a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back and just make a couple manual tweaks to the preset itself to get it exactly how I want it. I'm also going to be using the lens blur feature on this photo. So I just scroll down to the lens blur section and I'm just gonna hit the apply button. Now compared to the manual photo editing where I had to manually brush the background and kind of do like a texture and clarity lower thing, now all I have to do is just hit the apply button for lens blur and it's going to blur the background of my photo. Now I don't want too much blur. I still want this photo to look pretty realistic. But I think somewhere around here is good. After editing my photo in Lightroom, I'm gonna bring the photo over to Adobe Photoshop, which is a great app for detailed edits. So the first things I wanna do in Photoshop are extend the frame and declutter the background. And this feature is really great if you want a fast AI image workflow. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use generative expand within Photoshop. And when I use generative expand, I'm just typing in fill in the new space and I'm just gonna let Photoshop do its thing. But before I expand, I actually need to remove this person's head at the bottom of the photo first. So super easy, I'm just going to select this person's head and I'm gonna hit remove. Now something like this is super simple. It takes maybe 5 seconds. And then we're going to do expand. So I hit the crop tool and I'm going to extend my canvas to how big I want it to be. And then I'm gonna hit generative expand and I'm gonna type in fill in the new space. Resizing allows me to adapt my photo to any format without losing quality or cutting out key details. It can improve composition, create cleaner layouts, and ensure that my content always fits the intended screen or space. So resizing is perfect for making one image work everywhere that you need it to work. Expanding the frame in Photoshop only takes like maybe 10 seconds. So this is something that wasn't even an option for me before manually, but now with AI, I'm able to do this. So now that we've used generative expand to expand my background and my frame, I'm gonna bring this photo over to Adobe Firefly. Now, I could use the remove tool within Photoshop to get rid of all of those little leaves and stuff, but I'm gonna show you a little trick in Firefly. So the first thing I'm gonna do in Firefly is I'm just gonna pull my edited photo in here. And what I'm doing is I'm editing an existing photo. Adobe Firefly is a great app for object removal and creative edits because it uses generative AI to reshape and enhance your photos in seconds. So I'm switching to Adobe Firefly to easily resize this image for stories. So what I'm gonna tell it to do is I'm gonna tell it to remove all the leaves on the ground and I'm actually going to resize it for a vertical story, because later I'm gonna use this photo for socials. Adobe Firefly uses AI to resize your images while keeping the same high quality resolution, unlike some apps that reduce pixel counts. It's a quick way to make images fit any layout without losing detail. Firefly is a great tool for creators who want to create content with AI. And just for fun, I'm gonna add a little bit something extra to this photo. I'm gonna add some daisies growing from the ground. And that's because it lets you generate new visuals, remove objects, and enhance photos instantly with simple prompts. It gives you endless creative options without needing advanced editing skills. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hop over to Adobe Express. Adobe Express is the app for social edits because it helps you instantly expand and reformat your photos for any platform. So that's why we're gonna hop over to Adobe Express, because it makes it super easy to turn your ideas into ready to share content. So basically, I'm going to resize this photo. Adobe Express is going to be able to resize my photo and autofill and generate in order to make my image completely fill out my new dimensions. So I'm choosing a dimension that is landscape now, and I've taken my portrait photo and I've told Adobe Express to make my photo a landscape. Oh, wow, that's actually so crazy. Okay, so Adobe Express generated so many cool options. This is actually insane. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep the first option because it did such a good job. So one thing that you notice about AI photo editing is sometimes it does lack precision. You can actually beat this though by repetition and prompting with a bit more detail. So for example, if I prompt that I want it to remove the leaves in the photo, but it doesn't quite understand it, I can just keep prompting and keep trying different prompts until finally it understands, okay, it wants the leaves on the ground to be removed rather than the leaves on the trees. So to wrap it all up, I'm gonna use this photo for a YouTube thumbnail. And right in Adobe Express, I'm gonna add my text. So as you can see here, this is a great way to create social content with AI. So now let's compare which one is gonna win, AI editing or manual editing. Real quick, let's just do a side-by-side. Here is the photo that I edited manually, and this is the photo that I edited 100% with AI. So first, let's talk about speed. Without a question, AI is going to win this category. AI is faster at removing items, at generating things. Compared to me manually trying to clone stamp things, AI is definitely going to win. But now let's talk about detail. Depending on the image, I do think it truly is a tie between manual and AI. When it comes to something like removing specific little things in photos, I do think AI does a really good job at being able to remove things in a split second. But at the same time, AI does miss some things, so that's when manual editing could come in handy. When it comes to consistency, I think AI is gonna win this category as well. Although AI sometimes can be unpredictable, you can actually learn how to prompt correctly to get consistent results. So that's why I think AI is gonna win in consistency. As far as creative control goes, I think that manual editing is going to win this one 100%. You just can't beat the creative control that you get when you manually edit a photo. But I do think that there is a hybrid workflow that you can build to create the best AI workflow for you. The real power is starting with AI and then refining manually. So I want to tell you guys my preferred editing workflow with manual and editing with AI. So generally speaking, I like to manually edit my photos as far as color goes, so exposure, temperature, tint, tone, all of that. But I love to use AI for culling and sorting my photos. I use AI to remove things in my photos in Lightroom and in Photoshop. So basically, I start with my manual editing for getting my colors, and then the rest of my workflow is pretty much AI. So just to wrap everything up, Lightroom on web or mobile is perfect for quick photo fixes like color correction and batch editing when you want all your photos to look great fast. Photoshop is the place for precise edits, removing objects, refining details, and really polishing your photos. Adobe Firefly brings the AI magic, letting you add new elements to your images or clean up anything you don't want in the shot. And Adobe Express is all about fast social edits. Background removal, text and graphics, animations, resizing, everything you need to post right away. Use each app for what it does best, and you can take a photo from rough to ready to share in no time. AI photo editing can be used for so many different things, so here's a few examples. Example number one, expanding a frame for TikTok or Reels. This probably takes up to a minute to do with AI, but honestly manually used to not even be possible for me. AI photo editing can be used for social content prep. Something that takes me about a minute with AI used to take me 5 minutes. You can use AI to relight your portraits. This is something that would probably take me 10 to 20 minutes manually, but with AI, it would take me 20 seconds. Removing objects is another great example of how you can use AI in photo editing. Like I mentioned earlier, clone stamping takes a really long time. So if it's a really difficult object, manually it takes me around 10 minutes to remove. But now AI allows that to be 10 seconds to remove an object. You can use it for product enhancements. Used to take me like 1 to 2 minutes, now only takes me 10 seconds. You can use it for lighting and tone fixes, something that takes me usually about 2 to 4 minutes per photo. With AI, genuinely takes like less than 10 seconds. Something like background removal that manually takes about 3 minutes for me takes less than 10 seconds with AI. And something like skin retouching as well. That can take up to 10 minutes manually, but with AI, less than a minute. Remember, AI can save you time, but creative control still matters. That's why I think it's super important that it's not AI photo editing versus manual photo editing. But instead, we need to be thinking about when do we use which one. So when do we think it's a good time to use AI in our photo editing versus when do we think we still want to use manual photo editing? So try these AI-powered and manual workflows for yourself. I will include the links below. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope you liked it and have an amazing rest of your day.